it really is amazing how small of a time frame it feels like since the dawn of the new millennium and just how far we are away from it. Damn. Hi, everyone. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raising the Popcorn with Grant, everybody. And today, we're talking about a movie. Movies and TV, that's what we do here. And it's a documentary. Kind of. Yeah, movies and TV, that's what we do here. Luke, my dude, how's it going, buddy? And that movie is Time Bomb Y2K. Time Bomb Y2K is a documentary that is now streaming on HBO Max. I refuse to call it Max. It is also airing on HBO. And Time Bomb Y2K is directed by Marley McDonald and Brian Becker. And it is basically a documentary that takes the Moon Age daydream / everything is terrible approach. Good movie. Yep. It's a good movie. One of the year's best, actually. Anyway. This is about... this takes the Moon Age daydream, everything is terrible approach of. It is a feature-length montage, basically. It's a bunch of archival clips cut together into an 80-minute time frame that all have a unifying theme, which is the Y2K scare. For those who don't know, as someone who lived through it, was very young, but did in fact live through it and vividly remembers it, the Y2K scare was essentially people were terrified because of a technical error in the world's computers that the computer didn't recognize the 2000. Essentially, once midnight would have struck on January 1st, 2000, instead of changing over and correcting itself to 0, it would instead go to 1900. And in that millisecond, all the computers would collapse, the power grid would go down, planes would fall out of the sky, all the nukes would launch, people were afraid the world was going to end. And essentially, this is a film about the people on all sides of the aisle, both the people who believe it's possible but are rational, such as an expert who is in the film quite a bit, to the radical, you could almost call them prenatal alt-right, if you will, who are ready to take up arms against the government, if need be. And it kind of cuts all these together with clips from elements that reference this. For instance, there's a promo for a TV movie that I guess I don't remember ever existing, called Y2K the Movie, which I guess aired on television. The clip from that famous episode of Family Guy, where they did the what if scenario of if it was real. And spoiler alert, the world didn't end. I hate to disappoint you. Yeah, 2000 hit and nothing happened. And essentially, this is the story of the build-up and the sort of frenzy around this phenomenon. Here's the thing. I enjoyed this film quite a bit. I was 6, almost 7, when January 1st, 2000 happened. So I remember some of my earliest memories of modern history were that. And we had a household where a member of our family, I'm not going to name names, thought it prevalent to empty Clorox bottles and fill them with water with Y2K on the caps, as though believing that it was going to be the only way we were going to have fresh water when the world ended. So yeah, I lived in a house where at least one person really believed the Y2K thing. Now, to be fair, of all the doomsday things that have gone on before then and since then, Y2K is the only one that rationally could have justifiable concern. I'm not saying that it was ever going to happen. What I'm saying is that there was a certain element of possibility in regards to how rudimentary technology was at the time and how things could kind of have gone wrong. So what I'll say about the movie is this, is that as a time capsule of that period, it works quite well. I enjoyed the editing of it. I enjoyed the clips they used. I thought it was interesting. And I do think that occasionally they do reach for greater purpose. For instance, I like the implication of it that essentially when the world didn't end, it brought people together. You see people in Times Square when the ball drops, forming these friendships. But it also, in a lot of ways, created problems that we have still in the world, division-wise, among them the alt-right. You can kind of see the seeds, like I said, almost the prenatal of like the seeds of the alt-right movements on the internet being born. And there are some interesting parallels. There's a scene where a guy is espousing about how the internet is going to bring people together, and talks about how only good things can come of bringing groups together in these chats and stuff. And I'm just like, the other... It is kind of fun seeing it from this distance of almost 25 years later, seeing this, how a lot of these things were proven not only false, but really fucking false. Like, we were just like, no, dude, no. And there's sort of, an interesting sentiment about, I think it was a clip from, I think, Zoom, the TV show, where toward the end of the film, where a character, where one of the child actors is talking about how, it's like, what do you think now that 2000 has hit and nothing's happened? Like, what do you think? He goes, I think this is going to create a more tolerant world and is going to bring people together. And it is sort of fascinating watching this movie from the perspective of, this is just before 9/11 happened. This is just before, the war on terror happened. This is just before the Bush administration. Like, this is before a lot of these things that are considered examples of the worst humanity's given us. And that hasn't happened yet. And you're seeing people befriending each other in Times Square, and there is inevitably, by the nature of the times we've lived through, there is going to be an element of sort of bittersweet mournfulness to that. That being said, my biggest issue with the film overall is that despite those little isolated pockets of insight, I feel the inherent problem with Time Bomb Y2K is this. It's a little too shallow. It's a little too glib. By doing this approach, which is, a noble approach, this experimental approach, they pull it off, but at the expense, I think, of genuine substance. I think that at times you do feel like, what's the point of doing this way? You kind of sit there with this thought of like, there is a really terrific and insightful documentary to be made about the Y2K phenomenon. I don't feel like this one was that. But I think that's still yet to be made. That being said, overall, I really enjoyed the film. I think it's a good watch. It's short, it's sweet. It's a nice little nostalgia fest for people in my age range, and for people, it's also a fascinating look for younger generations to sort of see, and younger people who were not born in that time to kind of see what the air of the world was like. But overall, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment, considering the subject matter. I was expecting a little more substance. But overall, I enjoyed the film enough to walk the 2 blocks for it. I'm going to give Time Bomb Y2K 4 out of 5 stars. This is a solid, short, sweet little documentary. It's not in the top tier of HBO documentaries. This is no Street Gang, How We Got to Sesame Street. This is not on that level. It's not Moon Age Daydream. It's not, This Place Rules. It's not on that level. It doesn't have that level of insight to it. But overall, I think it is a really solid documentary. And it's just kind of a fun watch. It's fun to look at this, almost a quarter century on, and you just feel old when you think about that. That you were old enough to remember something that happened 25 years ago, almost. Yeah. That's kind of insane. But yeah, overall, good movie. 4 out of 5 stars. Let's close the book on it. Trailer trash none. Watched it on Max. Was there shawarma? No, there was not. All right, that is it. We will be back next week. We are gonna do some catch-up reviews. I haven't forgotten. We're gonna do those at some point soon. And next week we will have AMC Screen Unseen on Wednesday. We will have a early review. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Same on January 8th. There's another AMC Screen Unseen. We also next week will have a night swim, among other things. And that's all coming up. And that'll all be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant the Movie and TV Guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you, class of Mist. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know if it does. That's what you're supposed to do, or so I've been told. Leave a comment, even if it's, hey, Grant, I like waffles. It really helps out. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, lists, and other fun stuff, you can check me out on letterboxd.com at Raised on Popcorn with Grant. Twitter, I'm at Raised Grant. You can find me on Facebook, Raised on Popcorn with Grant. Instagram threads and TikTok at Raised on Popcorn with Grant. Serialized, all one word, all lowercase. Raised on Popcorn, Blue Sky Social, Raised on Popcorn. Check out my podcast, Raised on Popcorn with Grant, the podcast, on Spotify and Anchor. Some of you already have me. If you have to take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important. I want to know down below, what did you think of Time Bomb Y2K? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below. Let me know. And until we meet again, and before we go, I just want to say that's a wrap on 2023. Thank you for another terrific year on this platform. We are approaching our 3rd anniversary. Wow. You guys are the best. I cannot thank you all enough. We started this adventure with I started this adventure thinking nobody would watch, nobody would follow, nobody would subscribe. By the year's end, we are inching closer and closer to 400 subscribers in the first 3 years. That is insane. So thank you all, truly, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. All of you. Even the people who don't like me, thank you for watching. And thank you for commenting and subscribing. You guys all are the best. I love you. Mwah, mwah. Yeah. And until we meet again, we were all raised on popcorn. Make mine with extra butter. I'll catch you guys next time in 2024. Take care, everyone. Bye. Happy New Year. Bye.